to The Lock Shop with Nielsen and Hustler.
What is up, Lock Shoppers? Welcome to the Lock Shop presented by Play Alberta right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Thank you for everyone for listening across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams at edmontonsportstalk.com, at TuneIn, iHeartRadio. For those watching on YouTube or listening on podcasts, wherever you got your podcasts, we greatly appreciate you as well. Matthew Iwanyk in on the Lock Shop with you yet again. It feels like it's been a little bit. Jay's been doing a great job handling the host duties while I've been doing the afternoons, but Hernan Salas is back in the house. So I am back here on the Lock Shop. Can't wait to be joined by Andrew Hustler Patterson from Winnipeg Sports Talk in a little bit. Today's a fun one. We'll get to hockey at some point. I'm not going to make any promises that we will for sure have a lot of time for hockey. We'll see how it goes because the Masters gets going tomorrow. The next edition of the Masters. Who's going to put on the green jacket Sunday out at Augusta National? There's a lot to get to when it comes to betting for that one. I am going to do my best today to follow along in the chat, the nasty chat, also in the inbox at 780-218-9999. We'll have to try to build some sort of Oiler play today at the very least as well. Or some sort of hockey place. We'll see what we have cooking for that one. Right now, if you go to Play Alberta, download the app as well, click on EST Specials. That's where we put up everything. Hernan is going to be back. He needs to be back, too, for the Screw It, Let's Do It, because Gager's 2 for 2 this week. Benny and Zach each are 1 for 1 this week. I am 0 for 2 this week on the Screw It, Let's Do It. I let the team down back-to-back days, so thankfully I don't have to do that one today. Hernan Salas will take that one.
What was your pick yesterday?
Oilers money line.
Yeah.
You did say Utah's due.
I texted it in. I said, well, Utah's due. And everybody thinks I'm like, oh, he's a hater. Blah, blah. But, like, come on.
They
even at 3-1, Matty, I was like, this is not over.
And I was feeling decent. I was feeling pretty good. And then on Monday, I came with stats. I had the numbers there. Michigan to score, but Gager was right, and Benny was right.
You hit your Champions League.
Hit Champions League yesterday, which was Arsenal to win. They won just as I was wrapping up EST afternoon, so I didn't get to talk about it on the show. And Bayern won, so we hit that one. I do have a Champions League playoff, which I'll get to here, but it's one. I'm glad you're back, so maybe you could bring the right juju to the Screw It. Let's do it.
Well, I'm the best selector in that group, so should be good.
Yeah, let's say that. Well, I can't say I am. Here's what we've got at EST Specials right now. Champions League parlay. Barcelona to win today against Atletico. They are home, as well as PSG versus Liverpool, 2+ first half goals. There is a chance, Duck Dad mentioned it during the hangout when I threw that one up there. There's a chance PSG could score 2 first half goals. But PSG is going to score a goal. The question is, can Liverpool also just match it early? That one is plus 275. We've got the grandest already up there. Celebrini 2 shots. Kurtz 2 hits. Runs or RBI, Sabres to win, Oilers and Sharks both to score 2. That is plus 430. And then lock shot parlay from yesterday, Justin Rose, Tommy Fleetwood, Hideki Matsuyama, all to make the top 20 at the Masters. That is plus 260. Duck Dad, Thompson and Bouchard point, Nylander assist is also an NHL parlay. The only hockey parlay was Oilers money line, Sabres money line, Caps money line. You want to know? So I'm just going to write these down because maybe if we don't get to because I have to look a little closer as we do the show and talk to Huss and all of that. But if we don't get fully there, I actually don't mind just throwing those up. Honestly, maybe I'll just throw those up anyways as like nasty chat parlays, lock shop parlays. Okay, just marking those down. Sorry, apologies for that. I just don't want to lose those in the chat. Oh, there's one more there. Northside Sandwich has a Darlene, Chikrin, Bouchard, Point. All of them. Maybe there's a few things that we could do there. I'm excited for the Masters. Are you? All right, now, do you get excited for the Masters? Or you say because you're not the biggest?
I'm not a golf guy. So,
so as a non-golf guy, does the Masters matter at all? Or is it just, okay, that's cool?
Like, obviously, because I work in sports radio, I pay attention.
Yeah, but it's not something for you. You're not throwing it on a Sunday if you didn't have to.
If I miss the final round, I miss it. And I'll just watch highlights and see who won and all that. But no, I've never been into golf. So, again, I do it for my job, but it's not something that
No, I totally get
to
it.
each their own, right?
I know, absolutely. There's no question about that. And I understand. Like, I am a big golfer.
Yeah.
That helps. But also, I understand there's a lot of golfers out there that just don't like watching golf.
And I know how big, the Masters is the Masters, right? It's legendary. So, but I get it.
But the question wasn't to you, is do you think it's big or not? It was, do you watch it? And no, and I think there's a lot that are out there. But I'll throw this out there to a little bit of the nasties. Where does this rank in terms of betting weeks? Or like Super Bowl would be up there. I think Super Bowl might be the number one betting time. I would assume March Madness, like that first weekend, would be a big one. Masters, is that the podium? I'm gonna have to ask Huss that. What's the podium?
I have
of sports betting times of the year.
This might be an ignorant question, but you know how there's it's called Live, right?
Yeah.
Can they participate in the
So the majors, the four majors are not run by the PGA Tour. They are run by separate entities. Okay. This is run by Augusta National. US Open is run by the USGA. PGA Championship is run by PGA of America, which is not the PGA Tour. It sounds the same, but they are different. And the Open Championship is run by the RGA out in the UK. There's requirements for getting in. Live golfers that meet those requirements are eligible. Yes, they are there. So John Rahm is at this one. Bryson DeChambeau is at this one.
Boys will be in there, like Joaquin Niemann.
If they've qualified, I'd have to look. I don't know if they would fully be there, because some of how you get in is if you've won before, you could always go play at the Masters.
Yeah.
The other is world golf rankings, and a lot of the Live golfers have dropped in those rankings because Live hasn't had world golf rankings. They've now added it again, but I don't think that'd be enough to go up there. So I'd have to look at how many Live golf guys there are. I wonder if I could quickly pull, if there's just a bet for Live golf, that should tell me all the guys golfing in it.
I know Niemann's been up there in a few tournaments, like back in maybe a few years ago.
Top Live golfer. Okay, here's the Live golfers. You got John Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Tyrrell Hatton, Cameron Smith, Dustin Johnson, Carlos Ortiz, Sergio Garcia, Tom McKibben, Bubba Watson, and Charles Schwartzel. Many of those guys have already won. I count at least 5 guys right there that have won. So your boy's not there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Let's bring him in. Andrew Hustler Patterson, Winnipeg Sports Talk. It is a glorious day. It is today betting on the Masters. Huss, here's a question. Where does the Masters rank? Like, I'm trying to think of like a podium finish for top, sports betting events. Super Bowl, March Madness, Masters, or like where does it go in your eyes?
Well, for me, it's way above March Madness. I mean, I guess March Madness, the first weekend,
that's what I'm saying.
Really fun if you want to jump in on that. But listen, to me, it's ahead of the other majors, but we're in on all the majors. We love it. Part of Maddie, and I'm sure you agree, especially here in Canada, we look forward to this because it is usually the start of spring.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, you're basically looking forward to the Masters because at the same time you're watching it, you're hitting the driving range a couple times and you're going to be out there. From a betting perspective, though, I mean, it's the premier golf event of the year. I don't think there's any question about that. I do love Ryder Cup. And I mean, we don't have match play anymore. We might get it come PGA Tour playoffs in future years, which I think will be amazing from a betting perspective. But yeah, for me, I mean, it really is right up there because we look forward to it all winter long. We've got this lead up of the PGA Tour and the Players, which is a great event beforehand. But for, I think, a lot of the casual golf fans, this is the week that they dial back in and they get ready. And as I say, it's a course we know the same every year. The traditions are all the same. So you have, I think, a bit of a different perspective on the course, the players, and what Augusta's all about, which makes it one of the certainly like right up there in the in the top 10, top 5 events of the year to do the lock shop.
You're very right on the start of spring too. Edmonton, we got snow last night. Getting snow maybe on Sunday, so our spring is being delayed. It kind of really stinks, but this is generally the time of the year where, like, at the very least, like I always looked at Masters would happen, then we go golfing next, like the week after. Like that's when you could really get there. Yeah. There's the times you could maybe golf prior to the Masters, but generally, like this is the time here. Okay, now we can start golfing. Now things, and things have been building. Like to me, Scotty's Briar get me through the February months and as early of March. Then it gets going with March Madness. You get the start of baseball season. Augusta rolls around with the Masters. Then we get the NHL, NFL, or NBA playoffs, and then really it's just fully going. So we got lots to get to when it comes to the Masters. I have Dusty's plays. I've come up with some things. I know you have some things, but I do just want to mention to you, I threw it in the Nasty Chat yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a Champions League parlay I did build. It did hit yesterday. Arsenal defeated Sporting, who took down Bodo Glimt. So screw you, Sporting, because they took away our boys.
Yeah.
And Bayern Munich beat Real Madrid. I had Bayern win or draw. Today, the play I have up there is Barcelona to beat Atletico Madrid and PSG Liverpool 2+ first half goals. So a first half goal total, that's plus 275. PSG can score. They could almost do 2 by themselves. I could also see maybe 1-1 or something. So we're going to see that one. That's what I've got up for Champions League play. For those here in Alberta, Play Alberta EST Specials, that one is there. Let's jump into this Masters talk. How much have you just been reading? You had your big special. Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Can I just quickly, I just need to get this out.
Okay.
The Oilers last night.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we had 2 absolute beauties. I think one that was up for everyone to do. I tweaked another couple games and put that in. Minnesota is done. Puck line, great. Avalanche are rolling. Philly at plus money gets it done earlier on. And the Oilers are up 3-1. And then I was texting with Jay last night. I'm like, okay. They came back. They got the lead at the start of the third period. Let's see a team that is ready for the playoffs show that they can hold a lead in the third period. And it didn't happen. I will say this, without any skin in the game, very fun game to watch. Back and forth, 2 exciting teams. If they play in the playoffs, it'll be a heck of a lot of fun. But definitely angered with them not being able to get the damn win and cash the tickets for us. But I did want to ask you, there's not a lot of runway left. Mm-hmm. I mean, is this more, when you guys were talking on the shows today, is it more, well, they're going to be leaning on Ingram and Ingram's going to be the guy, so it's not that big of a deal? Or is it more concerning that against a team you could very well be playing, they just weren't able to slow that game down, eliminate scoring chances, and it ended up being basically a pond hockey game for the better part of the third period?
Yeah, I would say if there's disappointment, some of it is, once again, the Oilers letting that third period, a team back in it, not finishing it off, and just too often that even if you just look at a Chris Knobloch tenure here, maybe that happens a little too much with the Edmonton Oilers, where they try to close out a game by playing back a little bit, protecting, and they can't get it done when some of their strength is their firepower, so might want to keep going. I think, though, for yesterday, there's a couple of factors, though. One is there's still no Zach Hyman. There's still no Leon Draisaitl. Mm-hmm. So there's an understanding that you're out 2 major players, and, Hyman should be back before the end of the regular season. We'll still see on Draisaitl. They expect him back at some point in the first round, though. That changes everything. And it's just clear, from a goaltending perspective, especially if you're looking at a series here, one, it's not going to be Jarry. That wasn't a strong performance. It's clear he still isn't. He's not back, and it would be Connor Ingram and Brett. And on the other side, Vejmelka's not a guy, he's a good goalie, but against the Edmonton Oilers, he is not. The Edmonton Oilers have his number. That I don't think there's a lot of people that are as worried about a Utah Mammoth team if the Oilers ultimately have to see them, because the Oilers will get their goals. It's the question is, okay, when Connor Ingram's in net and you have a Hyman and a Draisaitl, is that going to make the difference? And I think for a lot of people it will. So we'll say it's a big game tonight with the Sharks, because they're it's not even, the Ducks are just falling. The Ducks are just falling fast.
Yeah.
As for the Oilers, though, it's them and tied with the Golden Knights for the top Pacific Division. The Oilers have the tiebreaker. But if you drop points tonight, I think the Golden Knights have a little bit of an easier schedule down the stretch, that maybe the Golden Knights find a way to snag the Pacific Division. And it's Oilers Ducks that we're going to see in the first round. If the Ducks don't, that is, fall out of the Pacific Division, and in LA or San Jose find their way to claw up into that, with just how much, that performance against the Preds last night, with the way the Ducks are going right now. And you're taking on a team that's on the back end of a back-to-back. I know it's in the same vicinity, but still, they played the night before, and that's the performance you got. Oof. I'd be very worried if I was a Ducks fan right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they've kind of overachieved. I really do think that anything they do in the playoffs is, once they're there, will be a bonus. They'll be an underdog even if they've got home ice against either Edmonton or Vegas, maybe even Anaheim. I mean, in Utah, if they win the division. I'll tell you what, like if somehow they do win the division, which is unlikely, I think I might actually take Utah in that first round. Just to put into perspective, yesterday I looked at this on the show. The odds to win the Pacific Division was Oilers at even money, Ducks plus 200, and the Knights at plus 330 or something like that. Well, after last night's action, Oilers minus 130, Vegas plus 175, Anaheim plus 600. I made the case that the Vegas number was actually kind of tempting yesterday because of the schedule that they had. And now that they won and got and the Oilers only got that 1 point, there is a big opening for it. As I say, after watching that game last night, I would love to see the Oilers win this division and get Utah in that first round. But I don't think we're going to have to worry about the Edmonton-Vegas first-round series right now because, as you pointed out, the Ducks have really fallen off, and they're now 6-1 to win the division.
Do you want to get into the Masters, or do you want to quickly wrap up hockey? Or do you want to come back to hockey?
Why don't we do that because we'll get into it tonight. Okay. It's a slow night tonight.
It's the 3 games. Sabres in New York taking on the Rangers. Capitals in Toronto taking on the Leafs. Oilers favorites in San Jose taking on the Sharks. A couple things that have come in the nasty chat. Oilers money line, Sabres money line, Caps money line. I should learn how to write a little better. Thompson, Bouchard point, Nylander assist. We've got a Dahlin, Chychrun, Bouchard point. Those are nasty chat little parlays that were done up, so maybe throw it out there. It's hard to see the Leafs getting much done the rest of the way. What do you like? It does seem like the first 2 games, there's but are we being caught with something? It seems like there's obvious winners, Caps and Sabres.
Yes. Well, okay. I thought that same thing about Washington on Sunday, and the Rangers beat them 8-1. The Rangers seem to be playing some good hockey right now, but Buffalo is just a much better team.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I will ride with this if we want to just go. I mean, again, it's 3 road favorites, which always makes me a little nervous. And I just said the Oilers were on the list, and I'm going to go back at it with them tonight. Huge game for San Jose. That's the one thing right now, like the Sharks. If they can win this game tonight, they'll get to 1 point back of Nashville. Let me just check this. 81. Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
And they have 2 games in hand on the Predators.
They would still have a game.
They actually win their games in hand.
They're tied with the Kings. If they win their games in hand and the Kings win their games in hand with the Predators, they'd be tied and they would have the tiebreaker over the Kings because of how many times they won a regulation. And how few times the Kings have won in regulation.
Don't even get me going on the Kings, man. Like, this should be the catalyst to finally move the point system to 3 points. Like, it is a joke. Although, Gary, I'm sure will be quite happy that Los Angeles, one of their bigger markets, is actually in the playoffs, even if they don't deserve it. But yeah, big win for Nashville last night. Hard to disagree with those 3 teams right now.
Okay, but which one are you most concerned about? Sabres, Oilers, or Caps on a money line?
Well, it's not the Caps. And I think I guess maybe I'm just a little spooked by what the Rangers have been doing lately, but Buffalo coming off that big win against Tampa, and they're right there to potentially win the division. And, there's a lot to play for right now for Buffalo because if they're able to win their division, they are probably getting Boston in the first round. And I don't know about you, but I would be I prefer playing Boston as to Montreal. I mean, just the way Montreal
or Tampa.
Well, I'm assuming it's going to be Tampa or Buffalo to win the division.
You're right, but you've got 3 teams, all equal games played, all at 102.
That is crazy that Montreal has just done this. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games.
So it depends. Like, what are the final schedules here? The last 4 games for each team. The Habs will end their season. They're home to Tampa tomorrow, home to Columbus, in New York, taking on the Islanders in Philadelphia. So they've got a little bit of a tough schedule there. That game against the Lightning will be huge. The Lightning has obviously have the Canadians on the road. They're in Boston on Saturday. They're home to Detroit, in New York, or home to the Rangers to end their season. And then the Sabres, they've got the Rangers tonight, home to Columbus, in Chicago, home to Dallas. Although Dallas maybe at that point will be resting people. So
yeah,
that's who knows how that's going to be fully play out. But you're right. Like if you're the Sabres, these are 2 points you need. Like if you're going to win the division, you can't drop these points against the Rangers. So like, because if the Oilers are bid on the list, would you be comfortable with maybe going away from the Oilers money line and just taking an over 6.5 goals?
They're going back to Ingram today, obviously.
Yeah, likely. Knobloch will speak at 5, so we won't fully know until a bit later. But generally the back to back, they'll go somewhere else.
Now that I didn't realize it was back to backs yesterday. Very interesting decision to go with Jari yesterday in the first of the 2. Like most teams essentially serve up the backup in the second end of back-to-backs, especially when you're like, do you think they didn't want to maybe show Ingram to Utah before a potential playoff series?
Well, there's 3 things here. That's one. The other is Jari just recently played Utah and got the victory. So that you saw an ability that he could maybe go do it. There is an argument also to be said that you put your starter in the second game of a back-to-back, because when your team's a little more tired, you put your better goalie to kind of try to balance things out, as opposed to the defense and forwards having a little less under their legs going into the second game, and you go into the backup, you bring in your starter or your number 1 to help try to bolster that. So it's a combination of 2 of the 3 of those, I would say. But I would say it's more likely that it's because Jari got that victory against Utah recently, that maybe he can go do it again. That's where I would picture that one. And the fact, Ingram was just in the lineup on Saturday and they lost to the Golden Knights, so maybe it's just a natural, we'll go to this other one here.
Total for tonight, 6.5. What do you think is more likely of happening? Oilers winning and getting 2 points, or there being 7 goals in the game?
I think there's more likely, although I'm a little gun shy because last 2 days on the afternoon show when I've done the Screw It, Let's Do It, of the 3-leg parlays, the only legs that didn't hit were mine. So I'm a little skittish to start this week when it comes to hockey. I think the over a little bit more than the Oilers. I'm actually worried about this game for the Edmonton Oilers.
Huge game for San Jose. Second game of back-to-backs.
You want to know something? I'll just say, we got it earlier, Oilers money line. Let's just stick with that one.
Okay.
If you're good with that, let's stick with that one. And I'll throw that up. That was Big Uke sent that one in a little bit earlier. Let's get to the Masters here now. He's Haas, I'm Iwanyk. This is the Lock Shop here in Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Fun week coming up. Apparently the weather's going to be great down at Augusta. Firm fast. We're going to see the course, wide fairways. We know this course. We're in for a treat, I think, this weekend. Rory McIlroy looking to defend. Scotty Scheffler looking to reclaim. A lot of great stories. And the first time since 94, there will be no Tiger or Phil at the event. We had the Champions Dinner yesterday. Par 3 is going today. No winner of the Par 3 has ever gone on to win the actual tournament in the same year. Where do you want to start with the Masters?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the Champions Dinner last night. No Phil, no Tiger. I can't remember what's up. Phil's like rehabbing from something?
There was a personal matter. That's all it said in the statement.
So we're going back-to-back personal matters for the top 2 guys.
Well, Tiger, we all know, though. DUI, left the country to go for treatments. The Phil, it just said a personal matter, so I don't know what that fully entails.
Well, there's a whole bunch of possibilities when, if you know Phil's whole story when it comes to personal matter. Anyways, It's more fun when he's around. And I do wonder, what Tiger... what's it going to be like for Woods this weekend when he'd been working so hard to try to be playing in the event, never mind being there. And he's going to be in some rich person's clinic in Switzerland, so we understand. So that is
hire a driver next time. Stick with a driver. As we talk about, get your own turtle from Entourage, where they'll not tell anybody about anything that's going on in your life. Just have a turtle, and you can play at another Masters. Stop getting behind the wheel. It's that simple.
No. But I bring up the Champions Dinner because before we kind of get into who we like, Mr. McIlroy, the Grand Slam champion, the defending champion, the host of the Champions Dinner last night, I have not heard a single person say that Rory McIlroy is going to win this tournament. And I sort of get it. And to be honest, Maddie, I subscribe to it. I mean, he was so driven to finally get that done, and he got it done. And it seems like this week has been part of winning that championship. He was out there all weekend. He was taking pictures and helping out with the kids at the drive, chip, and putt. I heard some of the guys last night on Golf Channel on Live From saying that last night would have been the culmination maybe of his entire career, being in that room and having the green jacket on and having the dinner in his honor. Do you have any expectations for Rory right now? I mean, we've seen his number drop from, where you would expect it to be 8-1, 9-1. It was 11, it was 12, it was 13 in some places. So, I mean, there's no momentum on the betting, but could Rory be a guy that just is so damn good that shows up on Thursday and says, I did a bunch of things. I'm still Rory freaking McIlroy.
Well, yeah, then that's always going to be there. And we had Adam Scully yesterday from Golf Talk Canada TSN on. He brought up a point, like at Tiger's press conference yesterday, which is for the former champion. He can't recall a time someone came in wearing the green jacket. And Rory, he's very much soaking this in, and I think you're right, just enjoying this as it's the 365 or whatever it would be of him celebrating the Masters. This is kind of the end of that. Is he ready to get going for golf? I don't think he's played enough golf this year. That's part of it. And when he has played, like recently, Players Championship, T46, withdrew from the Arnold Palmer. Started off well. Genesis, he had that great, he pushed in near the end, finished tied for second. At Pebble, he was 14th. But you just have 4 events that he's played this year. And in the last couple, it hasn't been there. That I look at a Rory and I go, this isn't a guy that I think is necessarily somebody I would be like, yes. I feel like on Thursday, he's going to be dialed in for 4 days. The history of Rory is also he generally is going to have a bad day at some point in the Masters, and he's going to fall out, and then he might charge late. Like I would look at, to me, I'd be more comfortable in a Rory in a top 20 type play or something. But in terms of winning this, it's hard to go back-to-back in general also. So there's not a lot of talk about him. But I just wonder if there's maybe a little too few golf rounds he has played in the lead up to the Masters. But at the same time, this is the one course where it's the same every year. And these guys know it, that how much value is there into that when you head to the first tee on Thursday and get going for your round.
Last night I was whatever on the Masters boards, and I got into my PVR, and I realized I still had the final round from last year on my PVR. Dude, that was such a roller coaster. He had the lead. He was trailing by the third hole, and the ups and downs. The Masters does incredible work on their YouTube channel. If you want a great primer for tomorrow, head over there. And by the way, likely the best app of apps, not just sports apps is the Masters app. I give them a hard time for a bunch of things over the years, not being able to watch on TV until a certain time. But this app has everything. You can watch all of the shots. If you haven't checked it out before, most certainly do it.
It's almost like their members are extremely rich and they have just a boatload of cash to build these things with.
Yeah. Well, I mean, not to mention they're a cash printing press with their
merch.
I guess the thing is once you own everything, and you can do whatever the heck you want. It's part of the reason why there's so few ads. And I mean, it's great. what, Maddie, give us, just before we start kind of getting into picks, guys we like and don't like, can you just give us the latest odds on the top of the board? Basically, everybody under 30-1.
Yeah, Scotty Scheffler, 5-1, Rom's 9-1, DeChambeau plus 1,000, Rory plus 1,100, Ludwig Oberg 14-1, Xander's 14-1, Fitzpatrick's 18-1. So is Cameron Young. We're getting into the 20-1s. Tommy Fleetwood at 20-1, Justin Rose 25-1, Robert McIntyre 27-1, Hideki 28-1. So that's what you got. And then Colin Morikawa, who's going to be playing, even though injured back at the Players, he's in the field. Him and Minwoo Lee 33-1. So that's the main top guys over at Play Alberta when it comes to winning. But if you do go to Play Alberta, there's all sorts of different things that you could bet. There's so many things to get into as we head into this one. I've got Dusty's plays written down to my right. I've got my plays on the computer written out. What do you have? Where do you want to start with this one? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, well, let's just look up at the top group. Listen, I think with the season that Scotty Scheffler's having, it's very tough to stomach plus 550 on him. Now, if he's, within 4 or 5 shots of the lead after the first round, and that number is more like 8 or 9, maybe I'll think about it, about an ad. But I'm not really looking at Scotty, even if he does have baby swag coming into the event. Rahm and DeChambeau are sort of wild cards for me. The live guys have not really done well here before. And although Bryson was there at the end last season, I mean, he's sort of been a bit of an outlier. Rahm's been unbelievable this year. Bryson's coming off 2 straight wins. I had sort of crossed those guys off in previous years. I think they're very much live this year. Will I bet them? I don't think so. We talked about Rory. Rory's a fade for me right now and seems to be a fade for just about everyone. And I think of that top group, the guy that I'm landing on, both as a guy that I think is due, can win, has been there in the mix in the past. And I like the number better than the other guys, is Xander Schauffele. Xander's where I've started my card. Anywhere from, it was kind of funny. There's a lot of steam behind Xander because on the weekend he was 18. He opened at 16. And now he's at 14, which tells you that there's a lot of people that, maybe they thought the value was there, which I agree, and just made a point of getting him on. But I'm starting my card with Xander Schauffele. I'm out on Ludwig Oberg until he shows that he can show up and play up on Sunday. He's been brilliant through 54 holes, and he's just peed down his leg the last couple times with a chance to win, including last week. So as much as I think he's going to win at some point and he should be better, I don't trust him right now. Fitzpatrick and Cam Young are pretty trendy picks. I mean, Fitz has been really good so far this year. And obviously Cam Young had the win at the Players. But maybe this is a bit of a hard pick too. But I love Tommy Fleetwood. I love myself some Tommy Fleetwood, and I'm in on him at 22-1. Tommy is a guy that has had great rounds at Augusta in the past. I mean, I think a couple 63s. He has the monkey off his back of not winning and being the guy that's been the best player, but without winning. I mean, he's had some big wins in the past. The next hurdle for him is to win a major. And to me, he's such a classy guy. Like, I think even though he is a Brit, I think he might be the most popular, like, for anybody in the field to win this tournament. The people that the patrons, the Augusta National, the broadcasters, like, everybody loves Tommy Fleetwood. But I think he's got the game to do it. So I'm going to get a piece of Tommy Fleetwood at 22. And that's sort of where I'm at until we get into the 30s.
So it's there's 2 guys you're no on that I'm yes on, and there's a guy you're yes on that I am yes on. And also I'm with you on Tommy Fleetwood. And there's going to be a couple themes that you're going to hear from me coming up. I like the play of Tommy Fleetwood with the win. That's big this season. He has 4 top 10 finishes. Strokes gained going into this week. He's 14th. He's second in the field, in the PGA around the green. And we know at Augusta, par 5 scoring is huge. There are scores to be had on the par 5. So I've looked very closely at who are good with par 5 scoring, and he's 7th. He's gone to this course. He's had good showings. He had T3 at Augusta just a couple of years ago. That I'm fully with you on Tommy Fleetwood. The two, though, that you're down on, I'm actually on. And one is Scottie Scheffler. I know the number, it's not the greatest, but it's also some of the best number you'll get for Scottie Scheffler that we've had in a long time.
If he wins, I won't be surprised.
And it's one of those things like it's Scottie Scheffler. And I guess I'm speaking out of both sides of my mouth between him and Rory, but the difference with Scottie is, like, I don't want to sit there on Sunday and see Scotty's pulling this green jacket and go, yeah, well, who didn't see that coming type thing. And when you look at his play this year, like, he's had 6 tournaments. He won early on, but he's got 3 top 10s. His worst performances are T24 and T22 in the most recent tournaments he's been in at the Arnold and the Players. That it's not like his game isn't good. It's not like he's had missed cuts or anything like that. He's pretty much been almost 6 for 6 in top, or he's been 6 for 6 in top 25 at the very least. That if there's a time for Scottie Scheffler to get back on track for this season, it's Augusta. It's a course that he knows. It's a course that he plays well on. And that's where it's just like, if he wins this week, we're not going to get good value on Scottie again or for his numbers for a while. So I do like the Scottie play. And I understand everything you're saying, Ludwig Åberg. There comes a point where he's going to figure it out on that Sunday. And he's playing so well. Is this maybe the weekend to go get it done? He's 3 top 10s this season. He's 10th on strokes gained. He's 13th around the green. And back to that par 5 scoring, he's tied with Tommy Fleetwood 7th. If he can get that par 5 scoring going like he has throughout the course of this season, he will be in contention. It's just mentally, can he get through that block on the Sunday if he's in contention to go get it done? I wonder if this is the time where he finally gets it done. So in those categories, I've got him there for me. Dustin's, until we go a little bit lower, which I don't go too much lower. Dusty goes quite a bit lower. But Dusty has Bryson at 10-1, and he's got Matty Fitzpatrick at 18-1. If you look a little bit lower on those cards, or on your the numbers, what do you have?
I just had to check this just while we're talking about Scheffler. So far this year, he he won the Amex. He was T3 in Phoenix. He was T4 at Pebble, and then was T12 at Genesis. And then at the Arnold Palmer was T24 and T22 at the Players. Do you realize that he went from March of 2026? You know when the last time he played in a tournament and wasn't in the top 20? You have to go all the way back to February of 2025 at the Waste Management. He then went after that 3rd, 11, 20, 2, 4, 8, 1, 1, 4, 1, 7, 6, 8, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 4. He was top 10 for like 15 straight tournaments, and most of them were top 5s. It puts it into perspective just how great this guy's been.
Well, and here's his last 4 Masters. Like, his first 2 Masters was 18, 19. That's where he finished. But his last 4 Masters, he won, he finished 10th, he won, and he finished 4th. In his last 4 Masters, he's been a better than top 10 ever, all 4. And that's for just like, I could see Scottie Scheffler just having that tournament that brings him back out for 2026 where he goes, yeah, I'm the best player in the world. Just to remind you guys, I'm the best.
So good. Now, after that group, moving on, I may put a little sprinkle on Rosie as a sentimental guy. I mean, he has been so close here before, and man, he's still playing at a really high level. But of that group between the 30s and the 50s, Minwoo Lee is a guy that's got mine. And, it was funny. I was kicking myself because, 2 weeks ago, he was in the mix, and I checked it on Saturday afternoon, Masters odds, and he was 55-1. And then shortly after the tournament, I checked again, and he was 45. And I kicked myself, but I still thought there might be some steam. So I got in on him at 45, and now he's dropped to 35, 33, 30 in places. So I will have some Min-Woo Lee. Morikawa is a wild card. Like, if you'd asked me this question 3 weeks ago, or basically before was it the Players, and he played the one hole and pulled out,
Be all over him.
I think Morikawa would have been right there with Rahm and DeChambeau and Rory right behind Scotty. Everyone's off of him because of this back injury, and I kind of get it. But the odds have gone up too. Like, he before was like 22. It's now 30 or 35 for Morikawa. So it's a risky play if you want to get in on him, but it could be high risk, high reward. I'm not in on Brooks. I'm not in on Jordan Spieth, although Spieth can come up and cook up magic, especially at this place. Patrick Reed's a little intriguing. I think I'm going to have some Reed top 10, top 20 action.
He produces at Augusta.
Dude,
he always
totally does.
As much as we don't like him and stuff, at Augusta, on the Sunday at some point, he's going to be on that leaderboard somewhere.
Yes. So Patrick Reed, top 20, if we want to get into that, we can. But this is a place where lefties have done very well in the past. And our guy, Akshay Bhatia, has been phenomenal this year. He has won. He is primed. And to me, the value play, like, of a guy that, has been there a few times. He's not a debutante. His recent form is good. He has won. Akshay, I think, is being slept on a little bit. And to be honest, I would argue that, when you're looking at some of those guys in and around the 30s, that he's not getting the respect that he deserves by the bookies. And I'm fine with that because I'm going to bet him. So I've got a 50-1 Akshay ticket. I mean, if you were getting on Akshay earlier in the season, you were probably looking at 80s. I mean, certainly 70s or 65s. But I love Akshay. And I'll tell you what, I even have a little bit of time, although I haven't bet it, for Chris Gotterup, who, emerged as one of the top players on tour, had that amazing start. He set the bar so high earlier on, it seemed maybe a little disappointing that he hasn't been in the mix the last few, but it's very difficult for guys to win in their first Masters. So that's sort of why that I stay away from that. If you want a longer shot that I did throw down on, Adam Scott, 66-1 is a guy that, and I think I've got a little piece on Adam Scott as first round leader as well. He's there. One of the most bet guys around this point that we've seen his number go from 125 to 1 to 80 to 66, Maverick McNeely. And he was a guy you love all the Masters content from people that, take this really seriously. He's a name we've heard of quite a bit. And listen, I'd love to say Corey Connors at 80-1 or whatever the number is. He
66-1 for earlier this week.
66. Okay. It's just tough to bet him to win, but I'll tell you what, if you're thinking about a top 10, certainly a top 20, I would expect him to be in. So as far as for outrights, that's sort of where I ended it. But favorite plays, Akshay Bhatia, 50-1, Min-Woo Lee, and then the guys that I'm really focusing in near the top, Xander Schauffele and Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah, I'm with Min-Woo Lee as well. Just back to those numbers. 5th shots gained this season, 7th shots gained off the tee. And in par 5 scoring, as I had with Fleetwood and Oberg at 7th, really he's second. Yeah, he's second this season in par 5 scoring. Right, and he's just been playing very well. That, like, you're looking at the value. Play Alberta right now, it was 33-1 if I'm not mistaken here. I do like Min-Woo Lee as a play for this one as well. And then, like, if honestly, between him and Collin Morikawa, because of the back, I would take Min-Woo Lee. And if this was 4 weeks ago, as you said, prior to the Players, I'd be all over Collin Morikawa because I loved his play this season, but I just don't know where that back is. Yeah. And so I am avoiding Collin Morikawa completely this weekend because is he going to get through the tournament? Like there's a guy that I wouldn't be shocked if the back is still flaring up a little bit. Maybe he goes and he misses the cut. As for Dusty, he's got Corey Connors on his ticket. Earlier this week he had it, 66-1. He said this when it was him and I a number of weeks ago. He says he's going to be playing this guy all year. Loves this guy. He's got him on his ticket again, and that's Jake Knapp. Yes. Yeah. 60-1. He's got Jake Knapp on his card. So that's his outrights to win. He's got Bryson, Matty Fitzpatrick, Jake Knapp, Corey Connors, and I have Ludwig Oberg, Tommy Fleetwood, Scotty Scheffler, and Min Woo Lee. Here's what I'm looking at for top 20s of some of the plays I do like. And two of them are based off of this season. Two of them are based a little bit off of history. And Jake Knapp's one of those guys for the top 20 for me at the very least. He's 6-7 in cuts made this season. 5 of those 6 cuts that he's made, he's finished top 10. And the only other time he didn't finish top 10, he finished 11th. So like this guy, as long as he makes the cut, he's getting for sure. Like he's pushing top 10 almost. You could almost just bet him on the top 10 market there. So having him on top 20 is huge. Jacob Bridgman. There's 2 plays for me. I like him for top 20. I also like him, and I go against Dusty on this one. I like him for top debutant for this tournament. This is a guy that's 8 for 8 this season in cuts made. Of those 8 cuts and events that he's played in, he has 4 top 10s, and all of them are top 20s. This is a guy that, just like Jake Knapp there, when he makes that cut, which he's done all season, I'm not going to sit here and say, as your point, debutants winning this all, it's hard. But this is a guy that finds his way to where he's at least competitive on the Sunday. So I like him for T20. This play didn't work last week, but the numbers still kind of hold. But Jordan Spieth, 3 of his last 5 events this season, he's been top 20, and he knows this course. The thing about Jordan Spieth at the Masters, especially since he dunked the ball twice on 12 a number of years ago and cost himself another green jacket, is he has one blow-up day. He always has one bad day at Augusta. Can Jordan Spieth find a way to make that one bad day not that terrible? Can he find a way to make it salvageable that on the Sunday, when it's generally on a Sunday, you just all of a sudden see Jordan Spieth has gone 6-7 under somehow on a Sunday? Is that going to be enough to get him in the top 10? And then Justin Rose, not much to say there. Justin Rose, a top 10. I would throw him on the ticket. He produces here. He had the tough finish last year where he gets to the playoffs, can't get it done. But this guy, even the Ryder Cup, like there was a talk at the Ryder Cup, would he be a soon to be captain of a Ryder Cup team? Well, no, because he's going to keep playing it because he keeps producing. And on big moments, Justin Rose does come very close. So a top 20 for Justin Rose. I do like that one. Dusty has Corey Connors in a top 10, Matty Fitzpatrick in a top 10, and then he has Chris Gotterup as a top debutant at plus 425, and Nicholas Højgaard as a top Dane as well. Do you have any top 20s or top 10s that you're looking at?
I do. I've got a few. The first off, we'll just get right to the top debutante. And this is always a fun one because everyone's sort of starting it even. They've never played there before. I love the value. And listen, I've got time for Gotterup. I just mentioned him earlier. Bridgman I think he's leading the FedEx Cup standings, and he's been phenomenal this year. But the guy that I'm going with, Marco Penghi, I got him at plus 990, so just south of 10-1. He has been, first of all, he had a phenomenal year last year. He won 3 times on the DP World Tour. He was second at the Scottish Open, which is the primer for the Open Championship when everyone was there, and did make it. He was T28 in the PGA Championship, which I believe was his first major. This year so far, he's had a couple missed cuts, but he's also T4 at Valspar just, a few weeks ago, was T21. Didn't have a great final round, but was in the mix at Valero. And was another top 20 T16 at Genesis playing against these guys. So Penghi, I think I like the number. I mean, this is one of those ones that could go a lot of different ways, but I jumped on him. A lot of people like Bobby Mack with the way that he's played lately, and he was right there on Sunday. I'm going with Akshay as the top lefty.
I have that on down too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Akshay top lefty. I'm gonna get on him a couple of different ways, and it's good. I mean, like I saw earlier today, I was looking. I think Bobby Mack was plus 120, and Akshay was plus 230. Brian Harmon right behind as well, in that group. Top live golfer is a really interesting one. I mean, I kind of feel like this is a 2-horse race. Like Tyrrell Hatton, great player, should actually be perfect for Augusta. I just don't know whether he's got it between the ears to stay level for 72 holes. And man, Cam Smith, like whatever happened to Cam Smith?
Took the bag and has never been the same.
He's just been done. Like he's 10-1 to be the top live golfer, which is a crazy number. But basically it's almost a pick 'em between John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau. I'll take Rahm on that one in and around plus 230. The Englishman, top Englishman's always interesting. It's sort of his Tommy Fleetwood and Fitzpatrick, bit of a gap, then Rose, then Hatton, then Pengy. I do like Tommy in that group. And I'm taking Tommy top 10. I'm going to take Xander top 5.
Ooh.
I mean, kind of backing up my two outrights with placement plays to get those guys into it. One, I think it's probably an easy one to make if the number's there. I don't know if you've got numbers on top senior,
Yes.
but Zach Johnson is, I can auto play on that. I saw it and got it at plus at even money, plus 100.
Minus 115 right now on PA.
Okay. The only other guys that are in it, Angel Cabrera, VJ, Couples, Mike Weir, and Olazabal. Yeah. So that is not happening. And there's one other pick. Obviously, Corey Connors, top Canadian at minus 175, if you want to jump on that. The top South African. And Cam Jarvis, this number's come down a little bit, but he's been playing brilliantly. Some people like Poitgeider because he's an absolute smasher. But I got a little piece of Cam Jarvis at plus 130 on that one.
Dusty also is Rahm. He's plus 700, top first round Euro. And I don't know, there hasn't been a hole in one since 2022. So I might get that one boosted. I want to build a couple.
What is the number for the hole in one?
Let me pull it up here quick. Will there be a hole in one? No is minus 139. Yeah, or yes is minus 139. No is plus 100. So we could probably get that to like plus 110 or 115. I want to quickly. We have a couple minutes. We only have like 2 minutes here. Let's build a T10 and a T20 parlay.
Yes.
What do you want to throw in for a T10?
T10. We're just gonna do two guys. That's tough.
Well, I'm gonna throw a Dusty play in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen. I'll go with Xander.
Okay. Because I do like Fleetwood, or it's going to be Scheffler. Because Dusty has a Fitz top 10 and a Connors top 20. So he'll have Fitz in there. We'll go Connors top 20 in there. I'll go a Fitz, Fleetwood, and Xander for top
Fitz,
T10.
Fleetwood, Xander. Love it.
And then T20, we'll throw Dusty's Corey Connors in there. I like Jacob Bridgman.
Jacob Bridgman. Okay. Well, listen, if we're going to be taking a few bigger swings, let's go with Akshay.
I like it. So, yeah, I like that. So we got Fitz, Fleetwood, Xander, T10, Corey Bridgman, Akshay, T20. I got Big Uke just threw this one out there. I'm going to throw this one up. Rose, top 20. Akshay, top lefty. Corey Connors, top Canadian. Throw that up as a little parlay as well.
Yes.
So we've got, there'll be a lot. I'm just going to rattle off. We also have the hockey stuff we built today. I'm going to rattle off a bunch of things after the show. There will be up at EST specials. But there's the plays. Huss had his plays. I had mine. Dusty was there. You could always go find Huss's special from WST yesterday as well if you're looking for a little bit more Masters coverage. Huss, what is coming up on WST?
Yes, and don't forget, we did put this in at the end of yesterday's show, but the gentleman's parlay, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, Hideki Matsuyama, all top 20. I love that one. I mean, and those guys are true gentlemen. And just as we're done, if you do want to get on first round leader bets, you have to play Justin Rose. He is the guy that every year is sniffing around it in the first round. You can probably get him in between 30 and 35 to 1. And I'm taking Xander to have a great start out of the gate at 29 to 1. You know what? My buddy Jeff Feinberg's going to jump on. We'll talk some more Masters today. Sean Reynolds from Sportsnet coming on. We'll hit all the action last night in the NHL and discuss the future of Jonathan Toews as he was announced as the Masterton nominee from the Winnipeg Jets today, Maddie.
Enjoy that. Enjoy the start of the Masters tomorrow. Dusty may be in the chair tomorrow, but if not, it'll be myself. We'll talk with you then.
Take care, pal. Thanks for doing this.
There's Hustler. Lots of parlays that we're going to throw in. Oilers, Sabres, Caps, money line. There's a couple plays from the Lock Shop, from the Nasty Chat with players plays I'll throw up there. We got the T10, T20. We got that other one from Baptized Big Uke. And then Big Uke also said we should make the cut. Take 2 of 3 of each of mine, Huss, and Dusty's picks for our outrights. So I'll do that as well. There's just going to be a lot coming up. EST specials. Keep it locked there for the next couple of hours for all those to be up there. Screw it, let's do. Will be up there as well as Jay's play of the day. Thank you everyone for tuning into Lock Shop. We got Oil Stream, EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne plus GCLD's Oil Stream pre and post game shows. All to come right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. On behalf of us, I'm Iwanyk. Thanks for tuning in. Oil Stream with Trev and Tommy coming up in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere.